Truth Serum Nation. Truth Serum Nation. Happy holiday weekend. I hope everybody had fun and all that good stuff. I'm going to keep the channel going. Thank you, folks, new folks that come in here. Let me unbutton this. I feel like I'm getting interrogated. So a lot going on. You hear about Puff Daddy, blah, 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 and all that. You know, there's so much speculation and theories, and everybody has their own opinions. But when you always look at the mafia, Colombo's, Gambinos, you got the mafia, then you got the deep state mafia. You got these entertainers and all that, then you got the deep embedded powerful politicians, the deep state politicians, the deep state criminals. Go get a coffee or a soda. It's 80 degrees in here. I'm having a hot coffee. So I don't know how many people I'm going to get in here. I just wanted to just relay some information. Puff Daddy's father, pretty boy Melvin Combs. Now, he served in the Air Force. He served in the Air Force. He was fatally shot at Central Park West in 1972. And just the fact that he served in the Air Force, now that was back when Frank Lucas, the king of Harlem, the Harlem King, and so they're running all them drugs. You got Melvin Combs that's friends with Frank Lucas. You got them guys that are dealing with the Gambino family. So when you mix all that together, what do you have? You got federal informants embedded in there. Of course, you got federal informants embedded in there. They're able to perpetrate crimes for so long. And yeah, he got shot, but they were in bed. So you look at all these high profile names. You look at these really highly visible politicians, entertainers, drug kings, and then you always have this level of the feds in the background, always, for various reasons. And I believe that pretty boy Melvin Combs was probably the one that gave up Frank Lucas, because this Combs family is embedded in filth and debauchery and just evil. So then he's gone. So who do they groom? Who do they groom up? They groom up P. Diddy. You see, the next one up in line, and then he didn't get in by talent. That was all deep state, high level people in the music industry. That was all just get the son of pretty boy Melvin, get him up there. He can rob some music off of other entertainers. His biggest song was from Sting, from the Police. So they're just bottom feeders that just rise up and not by their own talent. He's a bum, complete bum. So when Frank Lucas is running all those drugs, of course the mafia is going to be they're not going to let a guy just run all of Harlem and like, oh yeah, we're just. So there were deals with the Colombos and whoever wanted to claim that turf, or whoever wanted to go up against Frank Lucas. But you got to have an army, because with all that money, you could buy soldiers, or you can make a peace treaty and do business. So you got embedded bosses from the mafia, and I believe Frank Lucas was dealing with the feds. So they got this like this air of they're bulletproof. They can't. They got so much protection. They got so much protection, and they're making so much money. And this wouldn't be part of national security or the Department of Homeland Security trying to, the deep state trying to figure out who's here, who can we blackmail, who can we leverage. That's all the Puff Daddy trial is all about, is they brung him in, then seeing who they could blackmail, what kind of leverage they can get, what did he know, and everything like that. They come with the media like they're going to prosecute P. Diddy so hard, and they tiptoed around it. They tiptoed the feds. You see the feds, the good old feds, then they tiptoe around it. He ain't going to do any real time. He's not going to do any real time. He's part of that machine. He's part of that machine that goes back to his father, Pretty Boy Melvin Combs. And I think once Pretty Boy, Puff Daddy's father, Pretty Boy Melvin Combs, went into the Air Force, he was groomed. He was groomed. He was groomed. I'm getting prompts up here. So when you get in the Air Force, that's a big matzo ball. He was groomed, going to the streets. You got a boy, a little 3-year-old boy, P. Diddy, bum, bum, bum. So he was already part of that. P. Diddy has been groomed since childhood. He groomed his father right out of the Air Force. And then I believe that is the reason why maybe they were working hand in hand to have free reins. And then Frank Lucas was able to rise up to be so rich. So you see all this kind of stuff. And in the meantime, they're working hand in hand with the mafia, organized crime. So you got all that power. Diddy's worth $1 billion. And he's already got a rapport with the deep state government. Deep state government. How does Comey's daughter, that bum Comey, then the daughter goes on to the case. Then she switches up. Yeah, we're going to get P. Diddy. We're going to get P. Diddy. So he was a pimp. All you got left with was P. Diddy was a pimp. Well, he did this. We got evidence. He's done this. Oh, So now when the smoke clears after all that, he's getting, he was a pimp transporting sex over state lines and all this and that. Watered down version. What's up, Francis? How you doing? So P. Diddy, as far as the feds are concerned, with their huge case, just like whatever happened to the Epstein list. Where's the Epstein list, Mr. Federal Government? Who's on the tapes? They showed one tape. The feds, with their strong case against Diddy, they go seize all those tapes and videos. They go make a big production, go raid Diddy's compound, get all the tapes, get all the information, and they show one little rickety-rankety tape of Diddy pulling, abusing Cassie. All that hype by the feds, all that hype. So they could have got multiple things: sex trafficking, minors, assault, getting these people high, doing various things. So, well, if they showed, they would have showed 40 felonies. So the big federal government, all they got is their little rinky-dink thing of Puffy, P. Diddy, assaulting Cassie. All that hype. The feds, they're all in bed. So they might ask, well, why did they get him in the first place? Why did they get him in the first place? Because they had to do something. Because first, P. Diddy was just paying off all these lawsuits. Then Cassie came along, and then she was more high profile. And then the government was like, oh, we got to do something. P. Diddy's been getting away with felonies for decades. Because P. Diddy's a Fed. P. Diddy is a Fed that's been groomed forever. His father was in the Air Force. His father was an associate of Frank Lucas, the big drug dealer in Harlem. And that's the power circle. That's the power circle. P. Diddy didn't have any talent coming up. He hacked everybody's music. He robbed everybody's music, and they groomed him up. They promoted his records, and that's it. That's it. So, where's the videos, Mr. Federal Government? Where's all the videos? You put on a big show, a big thing. Yeah, it's a big rodeo. Yeah, P. Diddy. Yeah, they invaded his house. Yeah. Just a big freaking big charade. Just a big charade. So yeah. And the Gambino crime family and the Colombos, the Gambinos were more or less down there connected to that area, geographical area. But I believe all the five families were dealing drugs, and Frank Lucas was the man. And they had relationships with the mafia. That's a no-brainer. So you got people in the mafia that are rats, and you got Puff Daddy and his father. They probably had the same federal handler. You know, the feds, their handlers. They're the one that handles the mafia people when they're in bed, when they're informants, and the entertainment people and whatnot. Anybody else that they have handlers. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't all have the same handlers that are keeping an eye on everything. So P. Diddy was getting away with alleged murder for decades and decades and decades. And then the federal government got pressured into saying, geez, we got to do something about this. They put on a little show with all the agents raiding his compound. And then when it's the moment of truth, they show one little blurry tape of Cassie getting beat up in a hallway. Now, you got to remember, Puff Daddy had cameras in all the freak-offs. Puff Daddy had videotapes of international leaders, domestic leaders, entertainers, everything from A to Z. So P. Diddy was playing the blackmail game. Just in case something happens down the road, I got videotapes of everybody. So we see this big trial, and behind the scenes, that Garagos, who's, Garagos, high-profile lawyer, they make a little deal behind the scenes with the feds, the government, and say, yeah, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, because Diddy's lawyer, Garagos, is telling the feds, we'll blow this out of the water. Your bosses, we got your bosses, you DAs and the feds, we got your bosses at these freak-offs. Yeah, we got high profile at these freak-offs. What do you want to do, prosecutors? What do you want to do? Well, we're going to have to give him some bullcrap charges and this and that. He'll do a little time, in a country club, send it to some Fed prison that's a country club, and he can do a little time. That's all. Because they all play the blackmail game. Epstein was playing the blackmail game, but it didn't even get that far because they just busted him up. Who was on Epstein's list? I don't know. Who was in all the Diddy tapes? Who's in all the Diddy videos? All we saw was Cassie. They got 300 videos. Diddy has got a vault of the videos. of the videos, the Diddyos. Hey, the P. Diddy Diddyos. So Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, he's a chess player. He's got all the all the videos, a volume of all the videos, and then if those get seized, he's got backup ones in a vault somewhere else. And if those get seized, he's got a vault of those videos. And who was on all those videos? They say he had 497 videos. He was playing the blackmail game. So there you have it. I mean, they put up the big charade. This is going to be a big show. Yeah. And when they were interrogating, when they were cross-examining the defense, when the feds were cross-examining the defense's witness, it was weaker than pond water. These are supposed to be the best prosecutors in America. They were under orders. Strictly under orders. So it's a hot summer night, folks. It's a heat wave. Been a nice July 4th. The big, beautiful bill passed. Donald Trump is rocking and rolling. The country's rising up. Everything's good. I got baseball on. Francis, thank you for showing up. And yeah, everything's good. How come the Dems are all miserable? The country's doing real good. How come those Dems, those filthy, evil Democrats and CNN, how come they're always, what's wrong with them? The country's doing better than ever. And all the Democrat media, they're all look like evil demons, you know. Then you got Dorothy Hochul, New York State, AOC. They look like evil demons. They don't like prosperity. They don't even, just in spite of Donald Trump, they want the country to do bad. They don't even say, well, hey, good job, Donald. Aren't they patriotic? No, they're scumbags. Democrat scumbags. So, you know. And while we're speaking about Trump, Trump was friendly with Diddy way back when. You don't know Donald Trump. Might have showed his face at a party or something. Who knows? You don't know. Why did that Comey show up? That's why I think Comey showed up. That Comey's daughter, that freak father, Comey, then the daughter was part of the DA team, and then she fizzled away. Because they're probably like, I think Donald Trump was at the P. Diddy party. Really? He was shaking hands, getting votes, okay? So there you have it. I'm not going to do a long video. I'm going to watch the Cubs St. Louis and enjoy the night. So yeah, this is all deep state. Puff Daddy's father, pretty boy Melvin Combs, he was in bed with Lucas from Harlem. They were in bed with the Gambinos, Columbos. At least I know them two. I don't know about Lucchese Genovese. But they're all high-level feds. They're all high government, deep state. So the sentencing comes out for P. Diddy, I think it's October, November. They got 2 charges. They're more or less pimp charges. They built it up and displayed it like there's 33 felonies. And when the smoke clears, it's all reduced. And I think both charges carry a maximum 10-year sentence, but it'll be watered way down. Because believe me, Diddy is still sitting there going, okay, we got to play this game. But I still got the juice. I'm still holding the trump cards. I'm still holding all these videos. Nobody knows where these videos are. P. Diddy knows where they are. There's probably 3 different duplicates of all those videos. P. Diddy knows where those videos are. So if you give me any huge charges, I'm going to release the videos to TMZ, Fox News, CNN, he's going to release it all. And the government is going to be in a twirly whirl. So P. Diddy was smart enough to play that blackmail leverage game way, way back. Way, way back. He must have thought, yeah, you know what? These are some powerful people. I'm doing all these crimes, but I better have some juice on them while they're getting their freak on. While they're getting their freak on, I better take notes. Why do you think he had cameras in every room? Yeah. Oh, he was a freak and he liked to do kinky things and this and that. But those cameras were in all those rooms to get leverage to potentially blackmail high profile people, including politicians. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury. So that's that. So thank you, Francis, for coming in. Enjoy the rest. The big, beautiful bill passed. It's a hot summer day. Let's enjoy. Let those Democrats sit in filth, sitting with all those evil pusses on their faces, and let them rot. That's all. Let them rot. So there it is. Whoever watches this, there's a Cash App, rock and roll. Support the channel. Be the kings and queens of your world. Don't give up. The world is a vampire. It wants your blood. No, fight back. Get your head, your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit. Boom. Get a plan. Enjoy the sunshine. Have good thinking. You can rock and roll. You can get there. Don't give up. All right. Don't be like those Democrat weirdos. Enjoy and laugh. Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Franny. God bless.